This video describes a surgical technique for remnant preserving anterior cruciate ligament reconstruction. ACL remnant length, femoral attachment, and vascularity are assessed at the beginning of the procedure. Cleaning of the femoral footprint is performed from posterior to anterior and proximal to distal until the femoral notch outlet is clearly exposed, while preserving the femoral attachment of the anterior ACL fibers. Starting with the tibial tunnel creation, a guide wire is slowly inserted through the anterior tibial cortex, just above the hamstring tendon insertion, until it reaches the subchondral bone of the tibial plateau. The guide wire is first over-drilled with a 6 mm reamer using the knock-on-the-door technique to feel the subchondral cortex and stop the drill immediately after passing the second cortical bone. A slow rotation speed is used to finish drilling the intra-articular entry point. The guide wire is then repositioned within the ACL remnant tissues and over-drilled with a 9 mm diameter drill bit, using the same maneuver to preserve the intra-articular ACL remnant tissues and vascularity. Then the shaver is inserted through the tibial tunnel to clear bone debris, carefully following the ACL remnant fibers to the tip. A small proximal opening is then created to allow graft passage later. A guide wire is inserted through the femoral inside-out guide and positioned at the femoral footprint with the knee bent at 90 degrees. The knee is then flexed to 120 degrees, and the guide wire is advanced into the femur until it exits the skin over the femoral condyle. The reamer is carefully introduced over the guide wire, making contact with the bone before drilling a 20 mm socket tunnel. A loop suture is passed through the femoral tunnel and retrieved form the tibial tunnel. Using a shaver through the AM portal, intra-articular debris is removed to minimize the risk of postoperative knee joint inflammation. A white suture is passed through the tibial tunnel using the loop suture until it reaches the bottom of the femoral socket under direct arthroscopic visualization through the anteromedial portal. A clamp is then placed on the white suture at the level of the semitendinosus same tendon insertion. The distance D1 from the clamp to the end of the white suture at the bottom of the femoral socket represents the required graft length from the semitendinosus tendon insertion to the bottom of the femoral socket. The distance D2 represents the distance from the intra-articular entry point of the tibial tunnel to the insertion of the semitendinosus tendon. A first mark is made on the semitendinosus tendon at a distance D3 equal D to minus 2 cm, with the 2 cm representing the tripled part of the graft intended to be within tibial tunnel. A second mark is made at D1 from the same tendon insertion. A tripled or quadrupled semitendinosus tendon graft is folded and sutured to itself between both marks based on the thickness of the semitendinosus tendon and looped with an adjustable tightrope implant. The prepared ACL graft is passed through the tibial tunnel using the loop suture, and the endobutton is pulled into the femoral tunnel under direct arthroscopic control via the anteromedial portal and flipped on the lateral femoral condyle. The ACL graft is then gradually pulled up to fill the femoral tunnel under arthroscopic visualization through the L portal. Adequate graft tension is checked and final arthroscopic inspection of the graft within the preserved vascularized ACL stump is performed. Final knee extension is performed to ensure the absence of soft tissues interposition between the graft and the notch. Thank you for listening.